So what are some things you need to stop doing on Zoom? The first thing is you need to stop not being on camera. A lot of you are showing up to meetings, showing up to events, and you're not getting on camera. I immediately dismiss those people. Now, we all pop off camera for a second. Like, I drop something on the floor and I don't want to throw my ass in the air and you have to look at that. But I'm talking about if you're going to a meeting, an event, a conference, a workshop, something, and you're on Zoom, I want you to be on Zoom. When we walk into a networking event, let me just put this into perspective for you. If you walked into a networking event and there were 3 people in the corner like this, with their head up against the wall, sipping a drink, you would completely ignore them. You would never engage. You would never connect. You would never say, what do? You would never look them up because, oh, they seem interesting, or when they made that comment, that was interesting. And so you have to remember that Zoom is now the room. Write that down. I want to see my feed flooded with that. Zoom is now the room, right? And so you've got to remember that as your room. So the first thing is, get on camera. Stop avoiding the camera. It matters. Here's the second thing. The second thing is not checking your space. So I intentionally did this today because I wanted you to see I'm in this space a lot. This is my office in my home because we have a big office that we don't use anymore because we're all working from home. But when I got my new laptop, the shot is not perfect. I prefer the shot. It used to be more like this. I had a good and I would do it. It was actually a little more like this. That's a much better angle, and I just haven't fixed it yet. Bad on me, and I should. But check your space. I intentionally did this today because I want you to know that you're being judged more by your background than you. You're being judged more by your background than you. So you'll see that what I kind of have going on here, right? And somebody just said, I like sitting in the corner by myself at conferences. I do too, Tara. I can relate to that. But if we're going to a conference to meet, connect, network, all that, you can't do it and you know it. Marie Claire is saying, Zoom is now the room, and I hate how most people show up. It's so true, so true. So here's a couple of things I want you to notice, right? This is staged, people. This is normally not here because I wouldn't be turning my camera, but I'll move it. This is staged, people. Seasonally, I'll put some live flowers and things in this. It's a candle. It's a couple of things. But even if I don't have flowers, it looks pretty decent because it's there. Those are not staged. I mean, they're real books, but they're staged to look decent. And then behind me, I usually have my dog when I'm doing my stuff. If I'm on somebody else's event, I don't have my dog behind me. But when I do my stuff, I like him here. That's how I work every day. But notice what I did. My dog was laying on this earlier, so I didn't pay attention to it. And I know it's a little thing, but here's the deal, guys. When you are setting up your Zoom space, right, it matters to the attention to detail you pay to things because people are usually considering to buy from you. Oh, see, I hate that. I still didn't get it right. They are considering buying from you. They are considering working with you. And detail matters. So what is the detail that you're seeing all around you? So the first thing is get on camera. The second thing is when you do get on camera, check your environment. Check to make sure what you have around you looks good. You're showing up professional. You're showing up organized. You're showing up paying attention to the details, okay? The next thing you've got to stop doing on Zoom is being distracted. Now, I multitask on Zoom. We all do. And sometimes that's necessary and sometimes it's a good thing to do because you really can be listening to something and doing something else. But if you are the person who is constantly on Zoom and you're like this and you're doing other stuff and you're distracted, you're annoying. And nobody wants to connect with someone who's annoying, who's disconnected, who seems apathetic or even rude to the potential speaker or workshop or host or whatever's going on. So if you have to multitask, here's a few little hacks to multitask. Make sure that I have a screen, a keyboard that is separated. So I will get sometimes, I have a couple around here, the little risers that you put this on. So it's sitting high up. So if I am multitasking, my eye contact is still pretty good in the camera if I'm answering a few emails or doing something. Don't be like this and be on a Zoom and expect people to go, who is she? What is she saying? Because even if I am doing this and I become engaged at some point and I ask a question or I answer a question, I'm the person who only paid attention when it was about me or when I was asking a question. So there's a hack to that. You don't have to be head up and smiling and engaged every second. But if you are doing work, set your camera up where you're still engaged. The other thing is that I have little stands for my phone. So if I'm doing work on my phone or I'm expecting text to come in, because I even do this when I'm speaking. When I'm a speaker, I set my phone up really high because my team utilizes text messaging to get me information because I always can't see my Slack if I have PowerPoints running and I'm speaking at a Zoom thing. So put all these things around you so you can see them at eye level, right? And make sure that right, that you're not seeming like the person who's distracted or always looking down or doesn't care, right? Who's apathetic. And I'm just seeing some of your comments here. I network every week in a professional group and cringe when I see used towels lying on the ground in an open bathroom, a table full of open cereal boxes, or basements with a pile of clothes that don't check. Yes, Marie Claire, for sure. Let's see. We're talking about Zoom is the room. So what not to do on Zoom. So stop not getting on camera. Stop not checking your environment. Stop being the distracted person in the Zoom room. Here's the next one. Stop not communicating. If you were in a room of people, if you were at an event, you would shake hands, you would talk to people, you would introduce yourself. I see people underutilize the chat all the time. Underutilize the chat all the time. The chat is your way to show up, to be seen, to stand out. You know, I teach all the time about the attention economy. We're in an attention economy. The way you attract attention is you offer value. You can do that through the chat without being at an event or a program in which you ever have the opportunity to ask a question or raise your hand. The chat feature is there and you can comment, you can offer value, you can say, oh, here's a link to a great resource, right? So stop being silent on the chat. Utilize chat to get seen, to get connected, to get people to pay attention to you.